Welcome to Storycraft Portal, where the truths behind stories come alive. If you're someone who seeks the reality behind every viral tale, then you've landed at the right place. Today, we're diving into a question that lingers in every Titanic viewer's mind. Were Jack and Rose real, or just a cinematic illusion? Think about it. A story that became a global symbol of pain, love, and loyalty. But was it just imagination? Or was there a touch of truth hidden within? In the next few minutes, we'll reveal the hidden facts that still leave people confused to this day. Are you ready to face the truth? The curtain has risen. Now it's time for the real story. They met on a ship that changed history. Jack and Rose, names etched in cinematic legend. But beyond the screen, was any of it ever real? The Titanic itself was real, a luxury ship that met a tragic end. And yes, there were real love stories on that voyage, but none documented exactly like what the film showed. James Cameron, the film's director, admitted Jack and Rose were fictional. Yet their story mirrors tales pulled from Titanic's historical records point one such couple, Isidore and Ida Strauss, stayed together until death. The emotional weight of their story inspired elements of the movie, but the characters you saw weren't pulled from any single biography. Still, the question keeps resurfacing. Why does it feel so real? It's not just about two people. It's about connection, tragedy, and myth. The film blurred fiction and truth so powerfully, the world still debates. Even scholars explore this blend of myth and memory. What exactly inspired the creation of Jack's character? Was he based on someone real or a symbol of something deeper? The answer lies in records. And in part 2 of this story, stay tuned, because the real trail behind Jack Dawson begins next. And it may not be what you expect at all. After Titanic sank, over 1,500 lives were lost. Among the recovered bodies was a man named Jack Dawson. He was buried in Nova Scotia, grave number 227. The grave became a pilgrimage site for fans. But was this Jack from a movie? Not quite. That Jay Dawson was Joseph Dawson, a real Titanic crew member. Joseph worked in the ship's coal bunkers. He was a trimmer, far from the romantic lead. Yet the coincidence of his name created lasting confusion. James Cameron later clarified he didn't know about the grave, that it was an accidental match, or fate, as some say. Still, people leave flowers and letters to Jack even today. Why does a fictional name feel more powerful than a real one? It's because Jack symbolized all the unnamed. Souls lost, he stood for every dreamer in third class. The real Jack Dawson may not have existed, but his spirit echoes in stories buried with the ship. The myth keeps growing, fueled by memory and media. And that brings us to Rose. Was she ever real? Her truth, and the women she might represent, comes next. Unlike Jack, Rose was never listed on Titanic's manifest. There was no Rose DeWitt Bucator aboard the ship. But that doesn't mean she was entirely fictional. Director James Cameron once mentioned an artist named Beatrice Wood. She lived boldly, defied society, and never married. Her spirit reportedly helped shape Rose's personality. Beatrice never boarded Titanic, but her life matched Rose's mindset, strong-willed, cultured, and rebellious for her era. She lived to be 105 and was stunned by her connection to the film. Other real women also reflect parts of Rose's story. Margaret Brown, famously known as the unsinkable Molly Brown, was a first-class passenger and helped others survive. These real figures added depth to Rose's fictional journey. They brought realism to a story of heartbreak and strength. That's why her character feels so authentic even today, while Rose never lived as we saw her. Her roots stretch across many lives, voices, and eras. But did anyone claim to be the real Rose? Part 4 explores a woman who once said, "That story was mine, but no one asked me." Decades after the film's release, a woman came forward. Her name was Rose Amélie Icard, a real Titanic survivor. She worked as a maid for a French aristocrat aboard the ship. In her memoirs, she described scenes eerily similar to the film. She recalled forbidden love, class divides, and tragic moments. Some believe these stories influenced the script quietly, but there's another name, Elizabeth Jewell. She claimed in an interview that Titanic's love story mirrored her OW, and solid proof linked her to the film. But her words lingered. James Cameron never confirmed these inspirations directly. He insists Rose was a composite of spirit, not biography. Yet too many parallels leave room for wonder. Historians debate whether these women shaped the legend, or if the film simply echoed universal emotions of loss and love. Either way, the story still haunts millions. The deeper we dig, the more blurred the line becomes. Was it inspiration or coincidence carefully woven into fiction? One thing is clear. Something real was buried in that tale. The final part will close the case with evidence, connecting all threads. What was real? What was imagined? After everything we've uncovered, the question still echoes. Were Jack and Rose real? Or just emotional placeholders? Let's finally lay the story to rest. Jack Dawson was not a documented passenger. His grave exists, but belonged to Joseph Dawson, a crew member. The romantic figure? Entirely fictional, yet emotionally universal. Rose, too, was never on the manifest, but her essence came from bold women like Beatrice Wood and Margaret Brown. Women who challenged class, loved fiercely, and survived. The Titanic's sinking is fact. The heartbreak, the social divide, the sacrifice, all real. Jack and Rose? They were storytelling bridges to that reality. Their love story became a global metaphor that IT gave faces to history statistics and warmth to tragedy. Fictional, yes, but rooted in truth the final truth? Jack and Rose never met in 1912. But through them, millions met the Titanic for the first time. And maybe that's what stories are meant to do. Not rewrite history, but make us feel it deeper.